If I was intimate with a guy, it was more emotional for me. I didn't think of it as sex. I felt like they're making love to me, and I would want it to go further. But if it didn't, then I'd say F you. You're not really who I thought you were, and don't ever look at me again.
Shh. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Maryanne Davis-Gant. Today, I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. Those deep, dark secrets we probably want to go to our grave with, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Really the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. And today, my guest is Maryanne. And Maryanne, I have a question for you, and it is, what is your secret? Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. I think I was a hoe when I was a hoe. Yes, I think so. Yes, I didn't realize that I was until I read your Huffington Post article. And I realized, that's me. That was me. That was me.
When were you also a hoe? Because you just called me a hoe. Which
I did, didn't I?
Listen, we all have our definitions of our behaviors, and I'm not gonna get upset about it because it's okay. But when was your period of hoe-ness?
Mine was in my 30s, 30s and 40s. I thought pretty much that my shit didn't stink. I wasn't very popular when I was young. So if a guy paid attention to me, I thought that's what I needed, and if it led to a one-night stand or an affair, it didn't matter I didn't think about who I hurt. I didn't even think about that. It just was all about me.
Now, if you could think back to when that behavior started, when do you think was the first time you acted that way?
I was married.
Okay.
I was married, and I don't know really what I was missing. I just would hear words from the guy. He would say things that I needed to hear. And whoa, so-and-so doesn't say that to me anymore. And this really feels good and made me feel very special.
Right. So your husband at the time wasn't telling you certain things, and a stranger was, and it excited a part of you that wasn't alive anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it was a different excitement because I thought I could get away with something.
Now, did you carry on that affair for a long time, or was it a one-time deal?
During my marriage, it was for a while. But then after we got a divorce, then there were, men, because I was single and I could do what I wanted.
Right.
And I never particularly looked for it. I was always friendly, but now I see back that I was flirting. And if they reciprocated, then that was what, got it started. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
So how many do you think partners you think you had in that period of time?
You really want to know?
Yes, I'm asking.
Lots.
I really want to know.
I don't know, 25-ish, probably. And most of them were just, one night stands because I needed whatever. It just happened.
Right.
But some were a little bit longer. They were friends, family friends, or guys I worked with. I worked in a male dominant, business, and, there was no sexual harassment back then. You
right.
just, you just kind of played off their jokes, and, they were all harassment, but I never felt that way. I just felt I was being included as one of the guys. And then one thing would lead to another, and they were all unavailable.
Yeah.
They were never available for anything long-term.
Were most of them also married at the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that was even a bigger thrill, because I thought I was better than what you had.
Like you were stealing from what other people had. Like you must be better than their wife.
Exactly. Like the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah. Oh, we will get into those very soon.
Okay.
You're like, can we get through this part to the next one?
Please.
She's like, I just want this over as soon as possible. Can you please stop asking me details? But here's the thing, like for me, I can totally identify. You are not alone. And I'm sure other people listening right now have done those things, or like had extramarital affairs, or been with a married person. But for me, I never did the one night stand, because it just felt like it was too dangerous for me. I don't know why. So I'm curious, like, how did it feel for you to do a one night stand? Because I have no idea what that's like. I know how affairs are like, but
if I was intimate with a guy, it was more emotional for me. I didn't think of it as sex. I felt like they're making love to me, and I would want it to go further. But if it didn't, then I'd say F you. You're not really who I thought you were, and don't ever look at me again.
So were these one night stands, if they were with someone else, did you feel like your whole thing is like, I want to take them from their wives? And then when that didn't work out, it was like,
probably there's a lot of, probably. Yes. I would say, looking back. Yeah. Yes. I didn't think of it then that way, but yes, I would. Yes. You need me. I'm better for you than your wife would be.
So they tell you all the things, and it would be like at a secret place, and then after you gave them what they wanted, they would then
they would just and not all of them were like that. Some of them lasted for years, once, every now and then over the years. And that was awesome. I got to say, it was because they really meant something to me. I didn't really miss them, but when they would call back and say, hey, you want to get together? I'm like, hell yeah.
So what was the longest one? And when did that happen? You don't have to say the year or anything.
The most heartfelt one was probably when I was on my second marriage, and we worked together, and he was younger than I was. And I really knew in the back of my head, it would never go anywhere, but I just totally fell in love with him. He just was like an idol to me. And looking back,
what about him was an idol? He
was gorgeous, and he was funny and kind. He was so sweet, the kind with the strawberries and the, dipped in whipped cream kind of guy. And it was just so romantic. And, but I knew in the long run it wasn't, but I was still very upset when he, said, oh, my ex-girlfriend's pregnant, and bye-bye.
Ouch.
Oh, it hurt so bad.
I mean,
it hurt so bad. I gave all the love letters, notes he ever wrote me. I put them in a bag and gave them to him and threw them in his face. Don't ever talk to me again. I was so sad. So
did you talk to him again after that?
Oh yeah. He called for sex after that. Always, yes. And of course I went running like a little, of course I'll meet you there. And yeah.
And then it just never went anywhere. I mean, if you could talk to your past self, what would you have said to her?
Oh, I would have said, stay married to your kid's dad. And, just be strong, be stronger. I didn't know I was supposed to really try hard. I was very immature. Yes.
Marriage is a lot of work.
Marriage is a lot of work. And I was young.
Yeah.
When I got married the first time to the kid's dad. And I just thought it's supposed to be easy. You love me, I love you. everything will turn out fine. And we don't have to work at it, but you really do. And I never realized men had feelings either. That's another selfish, those deadly sins. Come on, bring them up.
No, I'm not done yet. But
okay,
no, I can totally relate because my idea of what marriage, I didn't want to get married. I was never one that wanted to get married. And because my idea of a marriage had to look like in the movies or a fairy tale or a romance novel or a love song where it's like, you have to be so in love that it has to be perfect. And you don't hear in a love song, like, let's pay the bills now. Let's take out the trash. Now it's time to like put the kids to sleep. Like none of that is in there. So I get.
And where are you? Where are you? Why are you not helping me?
Yeah.
With the
why
kids?
aren't you paying attention to me? Why aren't you making me feel special? Why isn't it the same butterfly feeling that it was when we were first together? And and I feel like it's society makes us believe that's what real love is. And it's not.
It's not.
Especially if it, it was a long time ago, we were less aware of how those stories.
How it's a partnership. It's a partnership. And,
and you just got sucked into that fantasy of what it should be.
I did.
Yeah. Butterflies and romance.
Exactly. And it wasn't that, especially with my first child. He cried all the time when I tried to feed him. He did not want to eat. He was, as a baby, quite a difficult crybaby.
Oh, well, I have a child, so I completely understand. Mine is not that bad, but it's exhausting being a parent. It is a lot of work to stay connected to your husband and still be a good parent, because at the end of the night at 7:00, I just want to go to sleep.
Exactly.
Or like be by myself,
Yes.
So I get it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, I'm so grateful you shared that, but let's just now we will hit those 7 deadly sins because you have been wanting to hit them. So let me, I don't really see them as sins. I see them as part of human nature.
Yeah.
We all have them. We all have pride, greed, lust, gluttony, envy, anger, and sloth. So if you could pick a couple of sins and why, what do you think they attach to that behavior that you acted out with?
Envy. I was envious that those men belonged to somebody else. I am envious of my husband's lives, that I didn't have that. So that's another thing. I probably reached out for their other guys' attention because my partners were so busy doing their thing and I wasn't who I wanted to be.
Right.
And envy of the other wives of what they got out of these men. Greed. I wanted it all, but I didn't see that back then. But now looking back, I wanted more. I don't know how the men fit into that, but gluttony, the more, I don't know, I can relate in food to gluttony, but there's other
forms of gluttony.
Yes. Other forms of, I wanted more of that attention, that I didn't get.
Do you think at the time, did you have multiple people while having an affair or while you were single? Was there like a guy here and a guy there and a guy here? Like you got certain things from certain people?
Yes, there were. And then I would even be having, I even had a longer term affair. Well, relationship. It really wasn't fair because we were both single and we were in a relationship, but I would still, so-and-so would call and I needed that from that person. And I don't know what that feeling was. I don't know I think just because I thought I was special, that person that I really cared about. And then there one that started, it was just kind of an emotional thing when I was married in my first marriage, and then ended up working with this guy. And we started up a little thing. I was single, but involved with my fiance. And we would like get together, and we always thought, well, let's get together in a year from now and, celebrate that, like that movie, Same Time Next Year, where you would get together. And that just felt so special. And it was just something I was lacking in I don't know. I can't explain it. Can you
No,
help
you
me
are
explain
explaining
it?
it. Yeah. I mean, when you're talking about it, it's like you have this false idea of what romance and love looks like.
Right, right,
And
right, right.
when someone didn't fill it, you always were trying to look for those people. And I always think for me, I'm just going to speak for me. It's like I was so empty inside that I needed other people to tell me who I was or that I was special. And instead of like feeling special myself.
Right. Yes, exactly. I needed that too. I don't know, I guess it's from our childhood. I was one of 6 kids and kind of, one of the older ones. So I wasn't special in that family in any way, in that family setting. I was responsible. I had to be responsible. And then when I was able to do something that I really wanted that felt good to me, that's when I was able to go get it. And I didn't, I thought I could get away with it.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I thought I could.
Well, it just seems like you were so maybe depleted from your childhood. Who knows? But
Right.
as soon as you got that freedom and you felt like that high of that attention
Exactly.
or that that fantasy love, you just
Exactly.
like went for it. And you're like,
I did.
I need what I need. Like this
exactly.
is, yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
So
yes.
Who do you think helped benefit from this secret, or who do you think harmed this secret?
Hopefully, in my life, benefited or harmed, or like right now, or how I feel. I'm sure the wives that they're cheating husbands. I'm sure they knew their husbands cheated. It only benefited me. It only benefited me. It never benefited anybody else. In fact, it harmed my children.
Mm-hmm.
I know I took time away from them when I should have been with them, and I was off doing my thing. So that's, something I still regret.
Yeah.
That hurts because the kids needed me and I neglected parts of their lives.
Well, what I realize now being a mom is, kids are willing to forgive. Yeah. And they just want their parents to love them. And I feel talking to you right now that you're still holding a lot of shame and guilt for these past things.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is time for you to let that go. Because honestly, in the long run, you harmed yourself the most out of anybody.
See, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. You denied yourself, that experience with your children. You're saying you denied yourself like true intimacy that's ugly and not always that great.
In a marriage, right?
In a marriage. So, but I feel like I'm feeling a lot of shame and, regret.
Shame.
I'm feeling a lot of regret.
Yes. Shame and regret for sure. Yes. And it'll pop its ugly rearing head, every now and then, especially when I decided to do this because it does, I miss some good times, but I do thankfully have good relationships with my children now.
See, that's important.
Yes. And they don't know this part of it, but they know a lot of it. They know the parts that broke up my marriages. They don't know the in-between stuff, and that I tried to fulfill and never did, never was fulfilled.
So how do you move forward in the future knowing that?
Well, I probably didn't do all the right things, but I just, now I don't even want to be with a man. Now I'm probably avoiding intimacy because I just like being alone, and I don't love being alone. I just like being myself. And if you like me, fine. If you don't, that's okay too.
So when's the last time you went on a date then? Because you're saying you don't want a man. I mean, have you dated recently?
No, in the past 2 years. And then there was quite a while in between there as well. Yeah. One of the jobs that I had, it kind of was not really conducive to have somebody I mean, now that I think back, it probably would have been good because I was gone a lot. I traveled, and it probably would have been good because I could still be myself, but have, intimacy once I was home. But I think it went away. It's the libido slipped away. So I don't know how that happened.
Well, we call that in my program, we call that sexual anorexia, where we feel like we shut off the part of our sexuality because a part of us does it because we don't truly believe we deserve intimacy and love, and that we use sex more as a high than a byproduct of a real relationship. So maybe there's a part of you with that shame and that regret that a part of you shut that because you don't feel like you actually deserve it.
You're very intuitive, Maryanne. I think you put your finger right on it. Yeah.
So where can we get you to see that you have to let go and you have to reignite that part of yourself because you deserve real love in this lifetime, right? Don't we all?
We do. We all deserve love, yes. But now I feel I'm too old.
No one's ever too old. You hear about the stories of 80-year-old ladies in their nursing homes that have their boyfriends. Come on.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't.
Well, I think we should do like a dating app for you, if you love her voice, email me and we'll hook you up, and you can send me the pictures and I'll hook you guys up.
Okay. No, I did try going on a dating app. My youngest son signed me up, and they were just all creepy old men. I don't know. I couldn't. I did go on one date. Had lunch one time, and they felt like they're probably like I was, like, let's move this forward, and I just kind of went, I put, my screen up, like
your wall up.
Yeah. Don't
penetrate. Don't get near me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want any connection. I don't trust myself.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I
don't know. Maybe I should be your matchmaker. Maybe
there you go. Could you do that for me?
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Well,
okay.
I think it's beautiful that you're willing to really look at it and try to explain so other people don't feel so alone. And I think you just really need to give yourself a chance to love and be loved, because I think it's a fear of that intimacy. I mean, for me, that's what it was.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, I don't want to be rejected again. I don't look, my body's not the same as it was when I was 30s and 40s. And I'm afraid of rejection in that regard as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think you're beautiful. And I think you really just need to step out on that ledge and free fall and let God be your guide, I guess.
Okay. I'll try harder to do that.
Well,
thank you, Maryanne.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for listening. This is Secret Life Podcast with Maryanne Davis Gant. If you have a past secret that you actually have gone through, or a present secret you haven't told anyone yet, please email me below, and I would love to have you on the show. It's secretlifepodcast@icloud.com, and I look forward to next time. Bye. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.